There's a decision sitting in front of you right now that you have been circling for too long. You know the one. It has been there for weeks, maybe months, maybe years. Patient, immovable, impossible to fully ignore even when you were doing everything in your power to avoid looking directly at it. It shows up in the quiet moments, in the gap between falling asleep and actually sleeping, in the middle of conversations about other things. In the mirror when you hold eye contact with yourself for just a second too long and the honest version of you behind your eyes asks, "When are we going to do this?" You have been answering that question with "not yet," with "soon," with "when the time is right," "when I feel more ready," when the circumstances align into something that feels less terrifying than they do right now. And every single time you give that answer, the decision gets heavier, the window gets smaller, the version of you on the other side of it gets a little harder to picture. Stop. Make the decision today. Because one decision, this one, the one you have been avoiding, can change absolutely everything. Welcome to Motivation Daily. Today, we are talking about the single most powerful force available to any human being. Not talent, not resources, not connections or luck or perfect timing. The decision. The moment a made-up mind meets a moved body and the whole trajectory of a life shifts on its axis. Let me tell you about a man named Craig Sager. If you follow basketball, you know the name. If you don't, know this. He was a sports reporter, known for his wildly colorful suits and his infectious love of the game. But that is not the story I want to tell you. The story I want to tell you is about a diagnosis. In 2014, Craig Sager was told he had acute myeloid leukemia, one of the most aggressive blood cancers in existence. The doctors gave him a survival probability that would have broken most people before the conversation was over, and Craig Sager made a decision. He decided he was not going to be defined by the diagnosis. He decided that whatever time he had left was going to be spent doing the thing he loved with every ounce of energy he could summon. He went through bone marrow transplants twice. He fought relapses that each came with odds that made the first diagnosis look optimistic. And he kept showing up to the games, in the suits, with the microphone, conducting interviews on the sidelines of NBA playoff games from a wheelchair when that is what it required. He told the world in his ESPY speech, a speech that stopped an arena full of professional athletes cold, that he would not trade his cancer for anything, because it had shown him what he was made of and had given him a life more vivid and more purposeful than the one he would have lived without it. The decision to choose life, fully, loudly, without apology or diminishment in the face of the thing that was trying to end it. That decision did not extend his life, but it made the life he had so extraordinary that it outlasted him. His story still moves people. His decision still teaches people. One man's choice about how to face an impossible situation became a lesson that millions of people are still learning from. Or think about Madam C.J. Walker, born in 1867 to formerly enslaved parents on a Louisiana plantation, orphaned at 7, married at 14 to escape an abusive household, widowed at 20, working as a washerwoman for $1.50 a day with a young daughter to raise and no safety net of any kind. By every statistical, historical, and sociological measure, the story was already written. The ceiling was already in place. The decision she was supposed to make was to accept the life that had been designed for her by a society that had decided in advance what she was allowed to become.
She made a different decision. She began experimenting with hair care products, initially to treat a scalp condition. She developed a formula. She started selling it door to door. She built a sales force of women who became agents of her company across the country. She trained them. She paid them. She built them up while she built the business. And she became the first self-made female millionaire in American history. A washerwoman making $1.50 a day who decided that the life assigned to her was not the life she was going to live. One decision, in the most impossible of circumstances, that reordered everything. Now, think about a decision that is not historic, not landmark, not the kind that gets written about. Think about the ordinary human being who decided one unremarkable evening to stop drinking. Not in a treatment center, not with a dramatic intervention, not as the result of a crisis that forced their hand. Just a quiet, private, utterly personal decision made in a kitchen while doing the dishes, that this was the last night, that the version of their life they were building on alcohol was not the version they wanted, and that they were done. No announcement, no audience, just a decision and the discipline to honor it. 2 years later, that person had rebuilt their relationships, their finances, their body, and their sense of self so completely that the people who knew them before and after would struggle to reconcile the two versions as the same human being. Not because everything became easy after the decision. Nothing became easy. The decision just made the difficulty purposeful instead of pointless. It gave the hard work a direction. It turned the energy that had been going into surviving the wrong life into energy that could go into building the right one. That is what one decision does when it is the right one and you actually make it. So here is what I need from you right now. I need you to identify the decision, the real one, the one you have been circling, and I need you to make it. Not plan to make it, not think about making it. Make it, in this moment, with whatever fear is present and whatever uncertainty exists and whatever the voice in your head is saying about all the reasons this is not the right time. Because there is no right time. There is only the time when you decide to stop waiting and start living the consequences of a choice made with courage rather than the consequences of avoidance made with fear. The decision is waiting. You have been waiting long enough. Make it, right now, and watch what your life becomes on the other side of it. Share this with someone who you know has been standing at the edge of a decision they need to make. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We show up every day to remind you that the decisions you make today build the life you live tomorrow. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the decision you were making today? Say it out loud right here. That declaration is the first act of the new chapter. Let's go.